Philadelphia police officers responded to reports of a shooting on the 3900 block of Poplar Street. When officers arrived, they found 18-year-old Nasser Marks suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. Nasser's murder occurred within a short window of another shooting that claimed the life of a 15-year-old in a separate incident that same evening. 30 minutes later, Reek and his crew drove to North Philadelphia and gunned down 15-year-old Kanye Pittman, who you might know as the young bull from the back block.
They drove to West Philly and unalived another op? And this little boy was 15 years old when he did this, folks. This teenage murder unalived 2 ops in one day. If you guessed what city it's in, it's Philly. They getting wicked in Philly, boy. If you live in Philly right now, listen, just do your homework and move.
Developing now, a 15-year-old shot and killed in North Philadelphia. Police say that he was shot multiple times on the 2500 block of Sydenham Street tonight. Officers rushed the young teenager to Temple University Hospital, where he later died. No one has been arrested.
From a North Philadelphia teenager rapping about the struggle to one of the city's most talked about drill artists, Reek 12
he was a drill rapper.
Fast and fueled by the streets. Tied to both YBC and YFA, his music reflected violence, gang life, and recklessness. But behind the tracks was a life spiraling into chaos. That chaos exploded when Reek was charged with murdering 2 teens in a single day, a crime that sealed his fate before he even reached adulthood. Much of the information about his early life comes from a detailed article from the Philadelphia Inquirer, which included exclusive interviews with Reek from behind bars. This is the story of the rise and fall of Reek 1200.
So he was
Reek
a teenager.
1200.
I didn't think he was gonna be a teenager. Well, I knew he was a teenager, but I didn't know he was a rapper. That's what I was trying to say. I didn't know he was like rapping about it. Every time we wake up, it's a new Philly artist that called 99 Bodies and rapped about it. Do your homework.
Of course, Samaj Nolan was born and raised in North Philadelphia, growing up near 12th Street and Susquehanna Avenue.
Susquehanna, I heard about that street.
His early life was shaped by hardship. His mother had him when she was just 16 years old.
Yep, that's how it always starts.
His presence was short-lived. Reek's father was killed when he was just 1 year old, leaving him with only faint memories of the man.
Yeah.
In fact, Reek's father spent much of his infancy behind bars, and the brief window when he wasn't incarcerated was tragically cut short when he was shot and killed.
Same thing over and over again. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. A lot of y'all, like somebody needs to start telling these girls, like, don't get me wrong, the niggas be tweaking the gang, but these females gotta stop having sex with these street niggas. I'm sorry, like, if my daughter came home with a street nigga, I will, like, I can't even put it into words what I would do, like. But I promise you, they ain't gonna get nowhere. I promise you that for sure. Cause you ain't finna have no baby at 16 by this street nigga. He get killed by the time you 17. Now you trying to figure out life, raise a kid, graduate high school all by yourself, like that. And of course he gonna turn out to be a 15-year-old rapper who out here unaliving people. Of course.
Despite these early losses, Reek described his childhood as relatively normal, at least by the standards of North Philly.
You're right.
He and his friends spent their days hanging out in the neighborhood, often with little to do. By the time Reek was 12, his behavior had started to shift. He began smoking weed regularly, and soon after, joyrides and stolen cars became part of his routine.
Yep,
Violence wasn't yet a defining factor in his life, but he was already drifting away from the structure that school was supposed to provide. In middle school, Reek's attendance became inconsistent, and by 8th grade, he was skipping class more than he was showing up.
Yep.
This was also the period when he began taking his rap career more seriously. Reek had been writing songs since he was around 8 or 9 years old, but as his teenage years arrived, music started to consume more of his time. By 13, Reek had fully embraced his rap persona,
13 is crazy.
Calling himself Reek 1200. The name Reek 1200 was a reflection of both his identity and his environment.
Right.
The name Reek came from a nickname his friends gave him, while 1200 represented his block, 12th and Susquehanna in North Philadelphia.
Oh, okay.
His early songs had a melodic tone, focusing more on his experiences as a North Philly teen. But things started to change in late 2020 when drill music, a subgenre rooted in violence and gang culture, began to take hold in Philadelphia.
Philly crazy. Hey, do y'all think Philly getting crazier than Chicago at this point? Sometimes I'll be thinking that, but then I'll be like hearing about Chicago, or I see some real Chicago shit, and I'll be like, man, I don't know.
Focus. And his music became darker, filled with references to shootings, guns, and the beef between his crew and their enemies.
Yep, snitching on yourself.
14, Reek's life took a drastic turn. While fleeing police in a stolen car with friends, they crashed the car, and Reek was thrown from the vehicle during a crash.
Oh!
He was ejected through the windshield and left lying in the street, unconscious and severely injured. He spent several days in a coma and woke up with no recollection of how old he was. The crash left him with multiple facial fractures and severe damage to his temporal and frontal lobes.
Damn.
The parts of the brain that control emotions and decision-making, which might have played a role in the crimes he would go on to commit.
Right.
Doctors warned
Hell
Reek
yeah,
that
that
he
one
needed
up.
significant recovery time, recommending that he enter an inpatient facility to heal. But Reek refused. Instead of following the doctor's
Talking about Reek refused. Reek was 13 years goddamn old. Reek mama was supposed to slap him and be like, boy, sit your ass down in this hospital. You tripping. You're 12 years old. You can't make no damn decisions. You can't get up and leave the hospital if you 12 years old. Nigga, that ain't how that works.
recommendations, he went right back to his old habits, smoking, rapping, and eventually turning to pills.
Where's his mama
15,
at?
Reek witnessed a shooting.
So you got a nigga who was just in a coma to the point where he woke up. He didn't even know how old he was no more. He didn't know what happened. His brain was messed up, so he couldn't even make decisions right. And now he taking pills? Hold on, y'all, because y'all know I love putting y'all on to that easy money. CashKick.com is a free to use cash rewards marketplace that helps you save and grow your money. This is some of the simplest and easiest ways to make money right now. All you have to do is play mobile games on your phone and you can earn up to $500 per deal. Now remember, I said CashKick.com is free to use, so they will never ever ask you to send them any type of money. Signing up is super easy. All you need is an email and a password. Once you sign up, all you have to do is download your first offer and start making money. Now your offers and reward amounts can change at any time. So that means you can download a game on your phone, play it for long enough, make $500 on one day, and the next day you can download a whole nother game, play it for long enough, make $300. Next day, same thing. This is some of the easiest money I can tell you about right now. And again, you can earn up to $500 per deal. So this is what I need you to do. Go to CashKick.com, make you an account, activate your account. Make sure you turn on allow tracking on your phone so that the app can actually track how much you're playing the game and earn you some of the easiest money you can make. Y'all can't say I ain't never did nothing for you. Skate and smoke. Where your mama at?
A major turning point in his life. He and his friends were hanging out in a park when an argument broke out. One of the teens pulled out a gun and shot someone in their group. While the victim survived, the aftermath tore Reek's social circle apart. Trust was gone, and paranoia crept in. Reek believed he couldn't rely on anyone, so he started carrying a gun. It wasn't long before the violence escalated.
There you go.
Reek's crew, now calling themselves the Young Face Arrangers, or
the
YFA,
Young Face Arrangers.
they gained
Holy
a reputation
Jesus.
for targeting their rivals.
Oh my
The
God.
group's chilling nickname referred to the disfigurement that often came with gunshot wounds to the face, a grim reflection of the violence they were embracing.
Bro.
As tensions rose, Reek was introduced to members of the Young Bag Chasers, YBC, a West Philly crew that had gained a following for blending drill rap with real-life violence. Reek quickly became a key figure in their music videos, flashing guns and rapping about street conflicts that blurred the line between entertainment and reality.
Ain't no damn
YBC
blurred the
members
line.
collaborated
It's
on
not
songs
blurred the
throughout.
line. If you go catch a body on 3rd Street on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday you drop a song talking about catching bodies on 3rd Street, it was Tuesday. Nigga, that ain't blurring the lines. That's snitching on yourself. FBI, open up!
2020, their growing fan base drawn to the raw, violent narratives they delivered. By this point, Reek's music had fully shifted to drill. His songs became more aggressive, openly taunting his rivals and even hinting at specific shootings. Tracks like Oh No and Head Crackers painted a picture of a young rapper deeply entangled in the violence he was describing. On May 25, 2021, Reek's street lifestyle reached a deadly climax. He and 2 associates set out that evening, armed and looking for their enemies. Their first stop was in West Philadelphia, on the 3900 block of Popular Street, where their enemies were known to hang.
So this is
Once
body.
they got there,
The body he
they
caught.
mistakenly shot and killed 18-year-old Nasser Marks,
Oh!
who they thought was a rival enemy, but just happened to be an innocent that was walking down the block at the wrong time.
That's because y'all blicking down the street at no reason. See how stupid this is? If you looking for a certain person or a certain group of people, or a certain number of people, right? If you looking for them, and you just pull on their block, and this dude just happened to be walking on their block, and you just blick at them and unalive this man, you don't even know who he is, gang. That's stupid. Just because you thirsty to catch a hat, just because you thirsty to go back to the hood and be like, yeah. Like, what? Fuck, y'all are stupid.
Half hour before that shooting, an 18-year-old was shot and killed in the city's Mantua section. Police have already identified him as Nasser Marks. He was shot multiple times in the 3900 block of Poplar
That's crazy,
Street
bro.
around 7:30. No one
AirPod case on the
arrested.
floor,
As of
like,
last
damn.
night, the city's homicide count was at 206. That is 40% higher than this time 1 year ago.
On May 25th, 2021, at approximately 7:29 p.m., Philadelphia police officers responded to reports of a shooting on the 3900 block of Poplar Street in the
This is
Mantua
the
section
same
of the city.
day.
When officers arrived, they found 18-year-old Nasser Marks suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. Officers quickly placed Nasser in their patrol vehicle and rushed him to Penn Presbyterian Medical Center, where he was pronounced dead later that evening.
Right.
Nasser Marks was just 2 weeks away from graduating from Overbrook High School.
Damn.
His plans were set
That's
for the
crazy.
future. He was preparing to attend Kutztown University in the fall.
Damn.
On the night of the shooting, Nasser had been wearing his Kutztown University hoodie, a symbol of his bright path ahead.
Right.
According to his father, Jermaine Thurman, Nasser was set to become the first member of their household to attend college.
Damn.
On the day he was killed, Nasser left his home to visit his girlfriend in who lived down the bottom, a trip that should have only taken about 15 minutes. Authorities reported that the shooter was possibly
He was
wearing
going
a
to see
ski
his
mask
girl.
and fled
That's
the
crazy,
scene in a
bro.
stolen green SUV.
Damn,
Philadelphia
bro.
Chief Inspector Scott Small highlighted the tragedy, noting that Nasser's murder occurred within a short window of another shooting that claimed the life of a 15-year-old in a separate incident that same evening. Marks, who was just weeks away from graduating high school, had no involvement in the conflict that led to his death.
At all.
30
Stupid.
minutes later, Reek and his crew drove to North Philadelphia and gunned down 15-year-old Kanye Pittman, who you might know as the young bull from the back block. This time, it was not a case of mistaken identity.
Police also
30 minutes later, they drove to West Philly and unalived another op? And this little boy was 15 years old when he did this, folks. He caught 2 bodies in 30 minutes, not even one day. He caught 2 bodies in 30 minutes, gang. And you know what I'm going to say? You know what I'm going to say, folks. Them one of his only bodies. I'm sorry, gang. It's very hard for me to believe that you caught a body at 10 o'clock, and then at 10:30 you went and you drove 30 minutes and caught another body, and then went home, and it's the only time you ever did something like this? No sirski, double oski, broski. I know the truth, gang. Either you got more bodies or you got more attempts. Either one of the two, you feel me?
rushed to a separate second shooting around 8 o'clock Tuesday night when officers found 15-year-old Kanye Pittman fatally shot on the 2500 block of Sydenham Street in North Philly. He was a freshman at Benjamin Franklin High School.
Freshman
The
here
head,
is
the neck,
crazy.
the chest, the torso, and arm.
Meantime, a third teen was shot around.
On April 25th, 2021, at around 8 p.m., gunfire rang out on the 2500 block of North Sydenham Street in North Philadelphia. When officers arrived on scene, they found a young male lying in the street with multiple gunshot wounds. He'd been hit several times, and his condition was critical.
Damn.
With no time to wait for medics, officers loaded him into the back of their patrol car and rushed him to Temple University Hospital. Despite the efforts of trauma staff at Temple, the victim was pronounced dead shortly before 8:15 p.m. He was identified as 15-year-old Kanye Pittman, Reek 1200, Zaire Crawford or Baby 1K, and Yassian Miles or Baby Wick. All YFA members were later identified as the suspects
shooters
in both of these murders.
And like, how do y'all, dumbass, how do you get caught doing that? Like, how do you get caught? Like, how slow? Like, I ain't gonna get on here and give advice on how to not get caught on a drill. But I'm just saying, like, gang, how slow do you gotta be to get caught? Not that long after. That don't make no sense
just
to me.
30 minutes apart from each other. Following the murders, Reek went into hiding. For over a year, he evaded police by bouncing between Airbnbs, all while continuing to release music. Many of his biggest songs were recorded while he was actively wanted for the 2 murders.
Damn.
While on the run, Reek would often hint at the murders in his tracks, dropping coded lines that taunted both his enemies and the police.
Yeah, so he
as
was
if
slow.
daring them to catch him. During
was
this
slow.
period,
That's what his
Reek had
problem
a
was.
daughter was born. He only saw her once, in a hospital room
Dumb.
where he briefly held her before vanishing back into hiding. In July of 2022, Reek's run came to an end when authorities tracked him down. Prosecutors used cell phone records, location data, and forensic evidence to build a strong case against him. During the trial,
cell phone records. Here we go again. Like, y'all stupid motherfuckers putting y'all phone. Let me put my phone, this big ass tracking device, let me put it in my pocket while I go commit a murder. Like what? Like.
Reek insisted that many of his lyrics, even those that seemed to reference his crimes, were fictional.
Oh, okay.
A lot of songs, we'd be saying stuff that never even happened,
oh.
Reek claimed. It's just to make the song sound right. His lawyer would also argue that this traumatic brain injury played a significant role in the choices Reek made afterward, choices that would lead to devastating consequences. But the jury wasn't convinced. Reek was convicted of 2 counts of first-degree murder for the killings of Kanye Pittman and Nasser Marks and sentenced to 35 years to life in prison. He won't be eligible for parole until 2057.
2057.
He'll be 53 years old.
He'll be 53.
If you're into stories like this, real cases, real events.
He'll be 53 years old the next time he's eligible for parole. And y'all think this shit is cool? Y'all think it's worth it to do this, bro? I could tell you right now, it's a lot of long nights he going through crying on this cot, on this cell, on this floor. You feel me? He getting strip searched every day by another man looking up his asshole, man. He can't even go from point A to point B without shackles around his ankles and shackles around his wrists. He a slave, man. He in there slaving for no reason, for free, working for 19 cents an hour, eating ramen noodles and Cheetos every day, folks. Boy, y'all crazy as hell. For what and for what reason? Because you caught an innocent body and you caught some other dude who was in a gang who probably never did shit to y'all. Just so you can say you got a body, or just say you got a hat, or say you were really like that. (2053) is when he will be eligible for parole. He will be 53 years old. Do you know how long that is, nigga? It's 2025. 2053 is in 18 years. 18 years, nigga. I'm 26. That's, nigga. 18 years is far more than half of my life. And I'm 26. Can you imagine being 50-something years old? That nigga might be a granddad by the time he get out of jail, bro. Like, to never see a street, you don't know, and then you gonna come home and do what? If you get approved for parole, you might not get approved till 2060. You gonna come home and do what though, gang? You gonna come home to flying cars, the iPhone 99, AI robots. You ain't gonna know what's going on out here, twin. Ain't at all. None of that crime shit you was doing to get that little petty money, that ain't working no more. It's 2053, bro. Like, boy, y'all niggas is crazy.
FBI, open up! Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.